Hey guys, it's Russell back, and on today's video I'm going to answer probably the most asked question that I get on the pressure washer, specifically foaming. How do I get really thick foam? Well, I did a video on how I basically built this submachine gun style foamer, and I'm going to do more videos on the pressure washer itself, how they work, what's needed for them, what kind of maintenance, if you guys want to see that. Nobody really said they wanted to. If you guys want to see super in-depth stuff on the pressure washer, how, you know, all about the pumps and everything, just let me know. If enough people want to do that, I will gladly do some videos on that. Okay, so the question is, how do you get really thick foam? People seem to say, well, I used what soap you use and I can't get the really thick shaving cream style foam that you get. So there are several factors. All of them have to come together, I guess, really in a perfect storm. Let me tell you the story. First of all, you have to have a really good quality foam cannon. If you don't want to spend the money, if you want to get a cheap foam gun, that's on you, but I'm telling you that this is one of the main factors. Okay, it's not the only factor. You can do foaming with other foam guns. However, this right now is the best foam cannon on the market. It's the MTM PF22. You see me using it in all my videos. This is the first thing I'd like to tell you. The second thing is the quality of the soap. If you're going to use junky soap and expect to get good foam, it's not going to happen. High quality soaps will give high quality results compared to low quality, everything else being equal. The handle itself, I prefer the submachine gun style, the snub nose. That really doesn't have much bearing. That's just more because it's easier to handle. Now, the pressure washer. Unfortunately, for most of you, it's going to take a gas-powered pressure washer to get really thick foam. And the reason is because pressure washers will have a much higher PSI output and their gallons per minute. I am sure there are some pressure washers, I've seen some industrial pressure washers out there that have even higher PSI and gallons per minute than this one, but they're extremely expensive. If all you have and all you can get, maybe because of where you live, is an electric pressure washer, get the highest gallons per minute that you can find and get the highest PSI that you can find with that. Now, if let's say that you can find a 2000 PSI and it's only 1.5 gallons per minute, that's just not going to cut it. You really, in my estimation, if you want super high, thick foam, you need at least 2.5 gallons per minute. Can it be done with less gallons per minute? It can be, but you're going to have a much easier time with the wide range of soaps. Now, if I had a 4 gallon per minute pressure washer at this rate, it would probably give me even better quality foam. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is the pump that you're using. This is the heart and soul of any pressure washer. This is just a regular Briggs & Stratton. It's an Intech 206, is a 6.5 horsepower. It's a regular, it's got electric start. I never use it, the battery's dead, I haven't replaced it. But the pump itself is what makes the pressure and the PSI. Now, you do have to get a pump that's matched to the horsepower. In other words, if I tried to put a 5 gallon per minute 4000 PSI pump on here, it may fit, but the engine may not be strong enough. I may need a 10 horsepower to do that. So you have to make sure that the pump that you're looking at is going to give you the output that you want. Now, if you're buying a pressure washer already made, like this one, then you get what you get. Now, this pump right here is not the original pump. I accidentally turned this on one time when I had the water supply off and it killed the pump. That's one thing that you have to be careful with on the gas-powered pressure washers. is that water, well, really any pressure washer, is that water cools and lubricates the Teflon seals. Most of these have Teflon seals and plungers, like O-rings, that will be destroyed if there's no water running through there. Now, if you, let's say that you can find a pump and a frame, it doesn't have to be like this, but, and the pump's bad, there are 2 pumps on the market that are phenomenal. One of them is a Comet, called Comet, and one of them is called a Cat. Cat pumps are industrial. This right here is a high-end Chinese pump. It was the replacement for this application. I was going to get a Comet pump, but it was twice as expensive as this. We'll see how long I get out of this. It's already been running a couple years and it's doing fine. But if I upgrade, I probably would upgrade to a Cat pump, and I'm not going to get into, you know, the different specs on the pump. You'll have to just determine that by your engine. But needless to say, this is very, very important because this drives that. Now, the other thing that you need to be aware of is your water quality. If you live in an area that has really, really bad water quality, it's really hard. You're going to get less foam than somebody that has pretty much neutral or soft water. Where I live, the water quality is neutral to soft, and it does help in making the foam. It's, again, it's not the only factor, but it is something that you have to take into account. So let's say that you've got a weak electric pressure washer, you've got well or hard water, it doesn't put out but 1.5 gallons per minute. You got a cheap Chinese foam gun. Don't expect, even if you're using Mystic Snow Foam or Adams, don't expect to get super, super good foam unless you're putting that bottle almost full of soap with no water. That's the other thing, is when you load your gun, I do the tests. I put 10 ounces of warm water and 2 ounces of whatever soap I'm testing. And I do that because I'm showing what the foam is going to be doing for you guys. If you're going to do the whole car, maybe you're going to put 30, 40 ounces of water in there and maybe 3 ounces of the soap. But that's enough for me to do the side and the top and everything, just to show you guys what it looks like. You always notice I never really show this side because it's kind of pointless. This side is going to be the same as the other side. There may be a slight bit of difference because this is the north side, and it may have 10% more left, but needless to say, when I do these tests, I want you guys to see the horizontal, slightly angled, and the vertical. So that's what it takes to get foam, to get really thick foam. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a secret I've never really told you before. This right here is one of my favorite car soaps, and the reason, let me tell you why. The reason is I can use a lot of it. If I was going, I do car washing and detailing and everything off camera. Most of my stuff is not filmed, but I will oftentimes grab this before anything else. And the reason is because I can put 5 or 6 ounces. This stuff is really cheap. You can get it anywhere. 5 or 6 ounces and fill the rest of it up with water in that PF22 and get foam that looks like shaving cream. This stuff does a really good job. It's cheap. It cleans well. It's not a high-end car soap. Do I use it on the Accord? No. I would, but I've got so much car soap now from all these tests. I have plenty of high-end stuff I can use on this. And I've got, I don't know, 30 or 40 more tests just in this hybrid series. But anyway, the point is, I want you guys to just remember that it takes several different factors. Get you a MTM PF22, number one. Get you a decent pressure washer. If you can't if you absolutely can't have a gas-powered pressure washer, and I understand, get the highest gallons per minute and highest PSI you can get for the electric, and use a really good quality soap. Now you could even put, well, that's not going to work, scratch that. But yeah, that's what it's going to take. All right, and if you're out shopping for a pressure washer, and you can have a gas pressure washer, if you will get one that has 3.5 to 4 gallons per minute and maybe 3 to 3,500 PSI, that combined with good soap, that foam cannon, you're going to make better foam than I make with the same stuff, same setup, same dilution ratio. So that's basically what it takes. If you start taking any one of those factors away, your foam quality is going to go down. So again, I am not going to do, I will do another overview of the pressure washer more in depth. People always ask me about the pressure gauge that I've got on here, I put on here, and I'll go over all that later if you guys want to see that kind of stuff. But just keep those factors in mind when you're doing your soap tests, when you're foaming, doing your pre-wash. And if you get all those factors lined up, and some of them, like the water quality, there's nothing you can do about it. You have what you have. So just remember that if you get everything else right, then the water quality itself is going to be not as bad as if you had bad water quality, a junky foam cannon, a weak pressure washer, and that's just going to drive your quality down. So anyway, guys, I hope that helps. I hope that answers your questions about that, about how to get really good foam quality. And I want everybody to get as good or better foam quality than I get, and everybody will be happy. Guys, I appreciate your viewership, and I will see you on the next video.